Hello, my name is Charles Roberts, and I'm the inventor of the American concept in wet shaving called method shaving. And today we're going to do the first of a series of training videos covering this fairly large subject, but it's a fascinating one as well. Today we're going to talk about method shaving dry weather style. Right this minute we are about the 1st of February. We're in a very, very dry period right now. Humidity is running about 20 to 30%. Very, very dry. And for our purposes, in terms of single blade shaving or double edge shaving or straight razor shaving, we need to be able to compensate for a dry weather environment in terms of how the blade is going to act on our skin and with the mix that we're trying to cut here. So what I want to do quickly is just take you through some of the items that I've got here in front to kind of give you a sense of what I'm going to be using today in this dry weather shaving exhibition. Those of you familiar with method shaving have seen all of this before. Those of you who are not familiar with it will hopefully appreciate the introduction here. These are all of the hard soap primers that we use in method shaving to build our mix. These are some bottles of cutting balm right here, which you'll see in use in just a few minutes. And we have also my 4-ounce containers of shaving paste to the right. The cubes, bars, and blocks of the primers and the cutting balm and the paste, these in combination form what is called the wet mix media, wet mix shaving media that I'll be using here in just a moment to cut. It's also called the triad. Soaps, cutting balm, paste is the triad. Today I'll be using Feather Platinum blades, the world famous best double-edged blade in the world, bar none. I'll be using one of those, a brand new Feather Platinum, to cut to shave my face with today, using this system here in front of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by dropping a lavender split cut of lavender soap into my water. I'll be also using a shave cloth that I invented a couple years ago to replace the shaving brush for this system. I'm going to drop that in there. You'll see that in use in just a moment. And I'm going to be using just a standard shaving paste, a number 2 shaving paste. There are 3 different shaving pastes in my system. This is a number 2 paste with a little bit of sage essential oil in it. You can use any paste you want, but ideally during this time of year we want to use a little faster paste. Number 2 is a moderately fast paste in terms of velocity, and the number 3 paste is your fastest. We won't be using that until probably much later in the year if it gets much drier. But 90% of the shaving and method shaving utilizes what we call a number 2 shaving paste. I'm going to put that right here. At this time I want to go on ahead, I'm going to pull out my double edge platinum feather, and I'm going to put it here on my head cap, on my razor. I'm going to close it down, and we're going to tighten the bolt. We're getting ready to go there in just a moment with that. And I've got my mirror over here set. And forgive me for kind of getting a little informal here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to set up my basic priming mix, and I'm going to put up my paste, and we're going to start shaving here in just a moment. First thing I'm going to do, and I want all of you out there to watch closely how I developed the first part of the shaving process, which is called the priming mix. There's a priming and a buffering sequence here, and I'm going to show you both. Our lavender primer is softened up enough to activate quickly. I've got my cloth. I'm going to squeeze most of the water out, not all of it. I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to lay my cloth on my hand like a diamond. And I'm going to go on ahead and take my primer, throw a little bit of water on there. I'm going to go on ahead and prime this up. Notice I'm working one side of the cloth. I come back to the other side. I like to get started to build up what we call slag, which is the media that comes off the soap. I then pick up my cutting balm, and I put just enough cutting balm on there to kind of cover the top of the soap. And this is going to help peak the mix, get it to froth up nicely, get some good body to it. It'll also help buffer a little bit, stabilize it. You notice it's peaking up very beautifully here. Coming up nice and thick. I'm pulling off the basic. Now I'm not extracting all the priming mix from the cloth, just the outside, just the external mix. Put it up again. like to show this to you. This is priming mix. Also call this a hydrogenic sac. It's full of water. And I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to put this up right now, like shaving cream. And notice I'm working just off my fingertips. And remember, this is going to be a dry weather technique. So we're going to have to make sure that as we're putting this up, we pay attention to getting enough hydration into the mix itself, which I'll show you in just a moment. This is called a wet mask manifold right here. A lot of you will say that this looks exactly like shaving cream, but it is not shaving cream. It is wet mix. There's no cream to it. It is 90% water, about 10% emollient. I'm going to take the excess priming mix, put it in the palm of my hand. I'm going to rinse my cutting hand because it's going to be slick. And I'm going to kind of do a little trick here. Dry off my cutting hand. And I'm going to dip some paste. About this much paste on the fingertip, and I'm going to massage it right into the priming mix. And it's going to thicken it up very nicely. Again, using the fingertips, please. Do not use the palm of the hand or any other area. Massage it into the skin, because that's where it needs to do its work. We're going to capture that in the palm of the hand as well. Now I'm going to dip some water, and I'm going to lay it up here. I'm going to feed hydrogenically charge the mix itself that's on my face. I'm putting water right into it. This technique will not work with commercial product. The product will not hold the water. And for those of you who are concerned about how thin the mix is on my face, don't be. You can probably hear the scratching of my beard. You notice I'm replacing what I'm pulling off with what's in the palm of my hand. But I've got about a 36-hour growth on my face. You might be able to hear this actually scratching